What's going on, everybody? It's Derek here again with Dog Media, bringing you guys another episode of this podcast. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be going over my mock draft, who I think is going to go where. This is the 2024 mock draft simulator. This is on ProFootballNetwork.com, as you can see up here. So this is just taking a step away from fantasy football for a little bit, kind of branch out, do some other things, bring you guys some different content. This is set as is. I'm not going to be doing any trades. I don't think this is how the draft plays out. I don't think this is the order that it's going to be come draft day, come April. This is just how it's sitting right now with Super Bowl odds. As you can see, the Bears currently have the number 1 and 2 overall pick. Let's get right into it. Obviously, if the draft falls this way, no trades, they're going to take Caleb Williams number 1 overall. I think he's the best quarterback in a long time. He's the best quarterback prospect we've seen coming out of college in a long time. This dude is being compared to Patrick Mahomes early on. I think he's a little bit further on. If you look at Patrick Mahomes and where he was at in college as a senior at Texas Tech, I think Caleb Williams is further at this stage in their careers, at that stage in Mahomes' career. I'm not saying he's better than Mahomes right now. Obviously, I don't think anybody is. But if you were to compare them both as seniors or at this point in their college careers, I think Caleb Williams is a little bit further ahead. To pair with Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr. Look, I know what you guys are thinking. There's no way that this happens in real life. And I agree. I don't think come April this is how it goes. But if the draft were today, I think the Bears fans, Bears ownership, Bears players would be ecstatic to have this fall to them. Now, what does that mean for Justin Fields? He's going to be traded. He's going to be a solid quarterback in a system that fits him. I don't think the Bears quite fit how he is as a passer. The past 2 weeks, he's really stepped up his game. And if he continues to play like this, I don't see them taking Caleb Williams. But as it sits right now, I don't think you can pass up on Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. I think either way, no matter who's 1 and 2, come draft day, I think these are the first 2 players off the board. Now going to Denver, look, Russell Wilson is not the long-term answer for Sean Payton. And I think Drake May is, if Caleb Williams didn't exist, Drake May is the best quarterback prospect I have ever seen. I think this dude is just ready for the NFL. I think he's going to come in and make a difference for the Broncos, who already have a great roster set up around them. A great defense. Look, say what you want. This is the D coordinator. That defense is super talented. There's no reason they should be letting up 70 points and then 28 points in the first half to Justin Fields. That shouldn't happen no matter what. That defense is too talented. I think Drake May comes in and makes a difference right away for the Denver Broncos. Coming up next, the Minnesota Vikings. Look, Joe Alt might just be the best offensive tackle in this draft. I know Alu Fashanu is really good. Really, really good. It's just look how Notre Dame is playing. Joe Alt is such a center point for their team this year that I don't think it's going to be easy for a team that's picking in the top 5 to pass on Joe Alt. I just don't. I think that Joe Alt is a better player than Alu. We'll just have to see come draft day. We'll have to see how the rest of the season shakes out. That's why mock drafts so early are fun. They're exciting. They're bold. You don't know how the rest of the season is going to play out, right? Come draft day, we're going to revisit this video, and they're going to be like, Derek, you're an idiot. There's no way. There's no way you could have thought that. Anyways, at number 5, Patriots are going to take Jared Verse. Look, Jared Verse, long, athletic, super talented, just a freak athlete. And I think with Matthew Judon getting older, they need some help on the defensive side. Look, if there's a world where Drake May falls to number 5, the Patriots are going to take him immediately. And the Patriots may trade up and take Drake May. But if you look at it here, I just don't see another quarterback that they're willing to take at number 5. Maybe you can go Bo Nix or Michael Penix, or, I mean, Quinn Ewers is there. JJ McCarthy is there. But at number 5, I think Jared Verse is just too good of a talent to pass up. And Bill Belichick, if he doesn't retire this year, he's defensive minded. He took Christian Gonzalez last year in the first round. I don't see him taking offense top 5. I think if Bill Belichick is still in charge of that team, it's Jared Verse or another defensive player. At number 6, I really, really want to go Olu Fashanu here. But look, the Giants have taken, 5 offensive linemen in the past 3 drafts, which is the most in the NFL. And it's just not cutting out great for them. I honestly don't know who the Giants would take here, but I think the best player that would fit their team, their play style, is Dallas Turner. And I say Dallas Turner because, look, you have Kayvon Thibodeau, you have BJ Ojolari, you have Dexter Lawrence. You throw Dallas Turner in there, who's probably the most NFL-ready defensive end in this draft, or edge rusher in this draft. I think they get better day one. And I just don't see them. First of all, I don't think Olu Fashanu falls this far in real life. I don't know that actually happens. It's the way this draft has fallen for me already. I'm looking at it. There's no way it goes this way. But as I'm picking these players for these teams and how it's turning out, I think the Cardinals here are going to take Olu Fashanu. I mean, look, the Cardinals picking at 7. They're looking to trade Kyler Murray right now, or reports say. I don't know if that's true. It's just what I've seen. That's what I've read. I don't think they trade Kyler Murray. They just paid him a ton of money. No one's going to want to trade for him. Maybe the Falcons. Maybe I don't see a team trading for Kyler Murray. I just don't. So with them here, I think they stick and pick. I don't even think they trade up or down. And Olu Fashanu is just going to be a center point for their offensive line. And personally, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now before anybody says anything. Kool-Aid McKinstry is way too overrated. I don't think he's a top 10 player in this draft. I don't think he's a top 15 player in this draft. So we're going to go ahead and say that right now. He's not being picked in the top 15 in this mock draft. No personal vendetta. I just don't think he's that good. At number 8, the Packers here, J.C. Latham. Hopefully he doesn't turn out like Alex Leatherwood. I don't see that. I think he's ready for the pros. And with David Bakhtiari aging and them just having not a great offensive line in general, I think he comes in and can probably slide in at guard. I know he's a natural talent at tackle, but I think he can slide in at guard here and make a difference for the Packers immediately. And here at number 9, the Raiders here. Look, says they need a quarterback, they need a corner, safety, they need everything. And here, Kalen King. Kalen King is probably the best defensive back in this draft. I don't think that they go defensive tackle here. They could go edge with Braylon Trice, or maybe even where's that other? But Kalen King, I think, is the best defensive back in this draft, and I think they need to strike on a corner. They need defensive help. They need help all around. They're not playing too bad right now. They did beat the Packers last night, but I think they just need defensive help all around. And, of course, a lot of these teams that you see picking in the top 10 can't go wrong with the pick either way. I think anywhere you pick here in the top 10, you're just taking a really good talent, especially with this draft, that you could go offensive line. They can go quarterback. They can go defense. Like, they can take anyone here and still be in a prime position to be good and poised for a good year next season. And here, this is where I think the Cardinals really take a chance at some elite offensive talent. And with Zach Ertz aging, I think this tight end, man, he's so good. Brock Bowers might be just the best tight end prospect I've seen. I think he's going to be 10 times better than Kyle Pitts. He's going to be utilized way more than Kyle Pitts. He's going to be typical like a Gronk. When I look at Brock Bowers, I think Gronk. Look, he's a wide receiver who happens to be large enough to block, right? That's exactly what you think of. Gronkowski. You throw it in his general vicinity, and he's going to catch it. He's going to come down. He has a large catch radius. I expect him to blow the combine out of the water if he chooses to participate. Maybe set records for tight end. I don't know. But, man, the Cardinals, if they can go in and get Olu Fashanu and Brock Bowers and still have Hollywood Brown, Rondell Moore, Michael Wilson looks really good as a rookie this year. They could go running back, in the later, not in the first round, of course, but, I think maybe someone down the board like Braylon Allen or Blake Corum even from Michigan would be good. It's not really a really strong running back class. I don't see any running back that I would even take in the second round. Maybe Trayvon Henderson. But yeah, really, if they can maybe take a running back later down the board, even Jonathan Brooks, if he ends up in a place like Arizona, look, they might be competing next year again. And they're not too far from competition. They need help. They need immediate help. But Brock Bowers immediately puts them in division contention, I think. The Jets here, big questions whether or not Aaron Rodgers comes back next season. And you see J.J. McCarthy, Quinn Ewers, Bo Nix. Zach Wilson is looking better. He's not looking great. You have Garrett Wilson still. I don't think they go wide receiver. I don't think they go offensive line. I think they focus on bolstering that defense even more. And I think a good person to pair up with Quinnen Williams is Michael Hall. I mean, dude, he's a little bit undersized at defensive tackle at 6'2", 295. I don't see him being a really dominant defensive tackle. He may slide out and play edge a little bit. I'm not sure his athleticism, how his 40 score is, and things like that. How agile he is, but to rebolster their defense and maybe get Aaron Rodgers coming back, I think that's a good pick for the Jets. At Washington at number 12, Washington needs a lot of help as well. They just took Emmanuel Forbes last season at defensive back, and he's been getting toasted. He really has. Braylon Trice is a guy to keep an eye on. Washington loves taking edge rushers. Chase Young is still there. He's still great. Jonathan Allen is aging. But someone who I really think they're going to pick is an interior linebacker. Maybe can play off-ball linebacker in a 3-4. In a 4-3 defense. Barrett Carter, 6'1", 220. Super athletic. As you can see here, not with these ads, you can't see it, but so his athleticism 4.5 coming out of high school, which may get better, may get worse after putting on some weight in college. But yeah, I think he's a good off-ball linebacker, and that's a position that they really need help at right now. They don't really have that dominant interior linebacker. Someone that could guard the running back, guard a tight end. They don't have help guarding within their division. Jake Ferguson, Dallas Goedert. I think he's a guy that can come in and really take control of that defense immediately. Tennessee Titans here at number 13. This is where Braylon Trice goes right here. I think this is a no-brainer for the Titans who desperately need an edge rusher. They took a chance with Jeffrey Simmons and Jadeveon Clowney, I think, a couple years ago. I might have to fact-check that. I don't know if Jadeveon Clowney ever played for them. But Jeffrey Simmons on the other side of Braylon Trice would be insane. Braylon Trice, 6'4", 270, really long, athletic, kind of like a Tyree Wilson archetype is what I think of. Super long arms, someone that can disrupt the pass, disrupt the run game pretty good. Now here is this is a team that I think could really use help at defensive back, and I think this is a really good place for Kool-Aid McKinstry to go. I think the Bengals taking a chance on Kool-Aid McKinstry here. Look, Kool-Aid McKinstry, I think he's overrated. I really do. He's undersized at corner. He's 6 foot 180. I just watched him get burnt by Texas, and Texas, they're not really known for burning corners like they burnt him. They're more of a run football team, and that really made him fall in my draft projections. But Kool-Aid McKinstry can still be a good NFL corner. I think 14 is a good place for him to go in real life as well. However, I don't think he goes there in real life. I think someone's going to take him up here in this 3, 4, 5, 6 range. But if he went at 14, that's really good value for the Bengals there for what they're getting. The Rams pick here at number 15. And Matthew Stafford is playing good. They have Puka Nacua. Aaron Donald, with question marks whether or not he's gonna come back. You never know with Aaron Donald. Jerzon Newton is really good out of Illinois. Jeremiah Trotter, probably the best linebacker in this class. But Mason Smith out of LSU is just a different breed. He is super athletic for his size. He's 6'5", 316. Yeah, again, here, freakish athleticism. Dude is just like one of those guys that you put in there and he's probably going to be, if Aaron Donald stays another year, him and Mason Smith, unbelievable. That would be crazy. That's just bolstering an already really good defensive line. Here at number 16, the Chargers here, they went Quentin Johnston last year as skill position player. I think they go another skill position player here with Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean out of Iowa, sorry. Yeah, 5 picks, 8 PBUs, whatever. Dude is just an athlete. He could come in and be a solid starting cornerback for the Chargers, who really desperately need help in the defensive side of the ball. Of course, they could go edge here as well. I think Laiatu Latu is a really good edge player out of UCLA. Someone that's got, again, big frame, 6'4", 265, another guy that maybe can take the spot of a retiring Khalil Mack if Khalil Mack decides to go. Of course, we just saw him put up 6 sacks. I don't think he's anywhere near the end of his career. But Cooper DeJean here at 16 is a really good pick for the Chargers. At 17, the Texans, obviously, they picked Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud last year, but they still need help on the defensive side of the ball, and I think none other than Jeremiah Trotter here. Jeremiah Trotter might be the most prototypical NFL linebacker that you'll see. He's 6 foot 230. He reminds me a lot of Kenneth Murray whenever he was coming out of school, a really highly touted prospect. But Jeremiah Trotter just might be NFL elite level already. He's really good at Clemson. I just don't see another linebacker better. I know I put Barrett Carter over him, but Jared Trotter here at the Texans, they would love to have another interior off-ball linebacker. DeMeco Ryans would know exactly how to utilize him, a defensive-minded head coach. The New Orleans Saints, I think they go quarterback here, and I think they go J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. J.J. McCarthy is just another one of those guys that is going to come in and put up really good production for you right away. And giving him weapons like Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Taysom Hill even as a tight end or as a runner, Michael Thomas, Rashid Shaheed, putting him in a situation like that where he can maybe even learn under Derek Carr for a year or even not. I think he comes in and he's NFL ready right off the bat. I think someone like Drake May and Caleb Williams, he's right up there with them too. Of course, it's Caleb Williams, a little bit further Drake May, and then everybody else after that. But J.J. McCarthy is creeping up there with the season that he's having. If he goes out and wins the national championship, he could easily go top 8, top 7 to someone like the New York Giants, New England Patriots, someone like that. Of course, we said that about Will Levis last year too, who I thought was a top 5 pick, and he's not going to get a chance for a while. The Atlanta Falcons here took Bijan Robinson last season. They have Kyle Pitts, Drake London. I think they need help on the interior line. Jerzon Newton is just someone that he's a disruptor. And with an aging Calais Campbell, an aging Grady Jarrett, this is a guy that could come in, fill some holes while they're still playing, but he's learning under elite talent. You see someone like Jalen Carter who's playing 48% of the snaps. And the conversation with Jalen Carter has gone from Defensive Rookie of the Year to All-Pro. I think that's a situation. This is a situation that Jerzon Newton can find himself in here in Atlanta. I did not want to do that. At 20, we got the Indianapolis Colts, who obviously took Anthony Richardson last season. Jelani Woods is supposedly coming back. Jonathan Taylor just signed a $50 million extension. Zach Moss looks really good. Michael Pittman is there. Josh Downs is looking like a really good slot player. I think they go defense here. And look, Chop Robinson is so good. 6'3", 250. Freakish athleticism. 4'4" range at outside linebacker is insane. Or maybe defensive end, edge rusher, one of those hybrid linebackers. I think he could come in and play off ball linebacker and maybe even sub linebacker in an interior role in nickel packages. Chop Robinson is a very versatile and maybe the most versatile defensive end in this draft. Here at 21, the Buffalo Bills. Look, say what you want, James Cook is not getting the job done. Trayvon Henderson, look, dude is a freak, and I think if any running back is going in the first round, it's going to be Trayvon Henderson. 1,200 yards last year. He's really explosive, really good receiver. Pairing him with someone like James Cook, who I just don't see the athleticism. Trayvon Henderson is Dalvin Cook to James Cook. He's just a little bit better. He's just better all around. Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be controversial. Dak, they're not going to give Dak a $60 million. They're not paying him, taking that $60 million cap hit. I just don't see it happening. Dak is gone. And I think someone, Texas boy, Dallas boy, Southlake boy, Quinn Ewers comes in, battles Trey Lance, battles Trey Lance for the starting quarterback role, and Quinn Ewers ends up winning out. Quinn Ewers is a top 5 talent if he can just be consistent and put it all together. It's what we've been saying with Anthony Richardson. Of course, Quinn Ewers, the athlete, it's a little bit different. Anthony Richardson would be a top 5 talent in the NFL if he can just be consistent. He was inconsistent at Florida. He started off inconsistent in the NFL. Quinn Ewers is that same style of player where if he can be consistent, dude could go top 5. He was NFL ready coming out of high school in terms of skill. It's just, I don't know if it's the offense, if it's the play calling, why he doesn't look good at Texas. But you see flashes of it. You saw it against Alabama. Quinn Ewers could easily be a top 5 player. He's just got to put it together. And look, there's no one better, no more fitting than to put a player that's super talented and has all the potential in the world to go to Dallas Cowboys just to stink it up. Anyways, on to the next. Seattle Seahawks. I think they also go quarterback. Sorry. Bo Nix. Bo Nix is another quarterback that's ready for the NFL. I think he's, 25? I don't know if it says his age on here. Bo Nix has been in college as long as I've been alive. But look. Oh, man, I thought I was on the... Hold on. Okay. My bad. I thought I was on the Seattle Seahawks pick. Bo Nix is going to be going here to Seattle. And here to... So, Bo Nix is going to be at Seattle, and who I pick here is going to be the Ravens. But yeah, Bo Nix going to Seattle with Pete Carroll, taking over Geno Smith's. I think another guy that you could put in a great situation with Lockett, JSN, DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker. Another guy that's just going to come out, show out, be great. I think the situations are so crucial for quarterbacks to get drafted into. You put Caleb Williams right here on the Bears, and I think they're a playoff team. You give him Marvin Harrison, they win their division. You give him DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison, you have Khalil Herbert, and Roschon Johnson coming back with an already solid defense. Situations are so important for quarterbacks. You put Caleb Williams in New England, and I think he's a bust. Again, I'll say it one more time. Situations are so important for quarterbacks. Look at Patrick Mahomes. Look at Jalen Hurts. Look at Josh Allen. Josh Allen was terrible until they go out and get him Stephon Diggs. Patrick Mahomes would not be who he is if he was drafted to the Jets or the Bears. I don't see it happening. Situations are so important for quarterbacks. So Bo Nix in Seattle is huge. The Ravens need offensive line help. They're always hurt. They can't stay healthy. Kingsley Suamataia gives them that. A BYU prospect, I see him a lot here now in the Big 12. Nothing gets through him. He's big, 6'3", 280. A little bit undersized for a tackle. I think he's more of a guard style for the Ravens. But I think putting him in an offense like that sets him up for success and sets the Ravens up for success. I think he is more of a guard. Again, I don't think he's an offensive tackle. The Steelers, Kenny Pickett experiment is not working out. Michael Penix Jr. just might be the best raw athlete outside of Caleb Williams in this draft. Super good, super accurate. Reminds me a little bit of Michael Vick, minus some athleticism. Maybe just because he's a lefty. Maybe more compared to Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, you see here, average arm strength. But you put him in a situation with George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Pat Freiermuth again, he may be set up for success. Maybe the Steelers go out and get another wide receiver, another weapon for Michael Penix later on. Maybe they turn around in the second round and take Emeka Egbuka. And again, I don't see how Emeka falls this far. It's just how the draft has played out. I don't see. That's just how it goes sometimes. Malik Neighbors is also better. I think he's the number one wide receiver prospect for me. But yeah, the Jags is actually who I'm going to send Emeka here to. Emeka and Calvin Ridley might be the best wide receiver duo in the NFL next season if he ends up going there. You give Trevor Lawrence another weapon. Trevor Lawrence has yet to really take that elite step, and I think surrounding him with more weapons, again, putting him in a little bit better situation, he just is set up to succeed. And I think Emeka really fulfills his success, fulfills his potential here with Doug Peterson. At 27, Mike Evans is probably not coming back, so you replace him with another Mike Evans. 6 foot, 190, long arms. He has super long arms. His catch radius is really, really high. Pair him with Chris Godwin. Malik Neighbors just steps in and takes Mike Evans' role. He's not as big as Mike Evans, but I think his catch radius is just the same, and I think he's going to be really good for them. At 28, Andrew Mukuba. Brian Branch has been such a success for them this year, and with CJ Gardner-Johnson tearing his pec, I think CJ can slide into a nickel or a slot corner role, or Mukuba could even slide into a slot corner role, and that fulfills their secondary. You have Brian Branch, Andrew Mukuba, CJ Gardner-Johnson back there in the secondary with one of those guys being a slot corner. I think they have enough weapons on offense where they don't necessarily have to target anybody. They just need to bolster up that defense. And their secondary is probably their weakest point. Really good defensive line, really good offensive line. If they can come in here and get someone like Andrew Mukuba, their defense will be really solid. Same here with the Dolphins. You have Jalen Ramsey coming back later in the season, but outside of Xavier Howard, right now you don't really have a corner that can come in and maybe you can shadow guys in the division like Stephon Diggs. As with Jalen Ramsey out, of course, once Jalen Ramsey comes back, that conversation changes. But you put Denzel Burke here, he could slide into slot role. He can guard the slot corners like or the slot wide receivers like Gabe Davis. Again, another former wide receiver. You see that was very successful, like Trevon Diggs, or so Cowboys fans say. I don't know. But yeah, Denzel Burke is a really solid corner that can come in and be really helpful day one to the Miami Dolphins. The Eagles here, this is a little bit more difficult for me. They don't necessarily, they're most likely going to go offensive line. That's their recipe. That's who they're going to go. Here at 30, personally, I would love to see them take Xavier Worthy here. If I was being selfish, I think he's plays slot wide receiver extremely well. I think he comes in and takes Quez Watkins' spot. You give Jalen Hurts another weapon like that, watch out. However, Donovan Jackson, another solid, super solid offensive lineman. He could come in and play guard. Cam Jurgens doesn't look like he's working out again. After the season, Cam Jurgens will probably slide back over to center. I think a lot of his issues right now is he's playing hurt and he's playing out of position. He slides back under center. Lane Johnson, of course, getting older. I think he has another season in him. But we're missing a right guard. You have Mailata Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Donovan Jackson there, and then Lane Johnson, and you're just already bolstering what's the best offensive line in the NFL. And here, the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, I don't know which team, and I'm going to give them to him. Now, this could easily be Keon Coleman, but since I'm a Texas fan, I'm going to be biased here and say Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy, pair him with Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs love taking skill position players in the first round. Of course, with them picking down here, they can really go any way. Raheem Sanders, they don't really need a running back with Pacheco. Keon Coleman is another really good wide receiver. I think Xavier Worthy is just better because I'm a Longhorn fan, obviously. But put him with Patrick Mahomes and Xavier Worthy could really win Offensive Rookie of the Year. So, yeah, that's how it played out. Again, not really sure this is how the draft is going to play out. In fact, I'm 100% sure this is not how it's going to play out. Because there will be trades like we saw last year. There's no way these guys pick 1 and 2. It's just not going to happen. I see it being like the Cardinals or the Giants. And say the Giants do go number 1 and pick Caleb Williams, watch out NFL. So yeah, let me know what y'all think, what y'all agree with, what y'all disagree with. This is just my prediction. Again, as I picked, I don't see how that falls this way. Again, I don't see Keon Coleman making it out of the first round. I don't even see Jatavian Sanders making it out of the first round. I think he's better than Brock. I don't want to say better than Brock Bowers, but he's definitely toe for toe easily up there with Brock Bowers. He just doesn't get the recognition because they don't win as often. That's why I was really hoping Texas would go to the national championship this year, because then their players will start getting a little bit more recognition. Quinn Ewers probably not going to be a first-round pick if he keeps playing how he's playing. Can be. Xavier Worthy probably won't go in the first round. TreVeyon Henderson probably won't go in the first round. But this is just who I think they need to take. Again, these two are switched. Kingsley going to Baltimore. Bo Nix going to Seattle. But yeah, let me know what you think. This is just another wrinkle we're throwing into this podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys have a great time. And I'll catch you on the next video.